was in October 1943 when this Boeing B-17 was coming back from her mission in northern Italy. The plane was already damaged by anti-aircraft gunfire and only 2 engines were still running. Only a few seconds before landing, the B-17 lost its balance and crashed into the sea. Two crew members were killed during the crash, but at least all other members could be rescued. When hitting the surface, the plane's tail unit broke away. Now this gives you a good inside look of the bomb bay. Nowadays, this B-17 Flying Fortress is called the Bomber of Calvi and is probably one of the most famous wrecks near Corsica. Has a wingspan of 31.60 meters, lying on ground on 27 meters, and it looks like being ready for takeoff. Most of the airplanes that crashed into the seas during World War II are not in such a marvelous condition. The Italian liveaboard FRALA. Our cruise started in Rossignano and will last for 8 days, visiting the northwestern dive sites of Corsica. This is the coastline of the nature protection area named La Scandola, steep cliffs and red rocks. The port of Girolata. Hundreds of years ago, this was a hiding place for pirates. Even today you cannot reach this place by car, but only by boat. The Gulf of Porto, the principal dive area of our cruise. We are diving Capo Rosso. Only a few meters away from the cliffs, you can soon reach a water depth of 30 and more meters. A greater forkbeard, a strange-looking fish that can be found in small crevices and bigger caves. At Capo Rosso, we were constantly meeting this big school of cowbreams. One of the very few fish types of the Mediterranean that is only living on algae and plants. A beautiful lobster surrounded by yellow polyps. A moray eel that has left his cave at daytime, an unusual behavior for this species. Goodbye, sweetie. A red scorpionfish. Sometimes you need some light. Capo Mucchilina. Again, the steep wards of La Scandola continue underwater. 40 meters deep, but the scenery is bright. The sandy ground helps a lot. A small red coral and a very big one. A small nudibranch and a very big one. At the end of the dive, Capo Mucchilina is presenting a true surprise. We are finding an old wreck that's almost melted into the reef. Like many other wrecks in the sea, also this one has become a new home of lots of fish. These are two-banded sea breams. And these are called annual sea breams, who probably don't know that Italian Kitchen knows some excellent recipes for preparing them. Porto. O'clock in the evening, very few meters away from Porto's beach. A small conger eel. This big common dentex has already fallen asleep. And they also come out at night. Too much light for a lobster. Corsica is offering some great dive sites, mostly located very nearby the coastline. But every time we were diving offshore reefs, we found a different kind of scenery. Some jellyfish, only a few fish, almost no gorgonians, but lots of green algae. It's pretty hard to find something interesting, like this anemone. Or a crab in camouflage. A fully grown fan worm. But why are these offshore places so poor? Maybe they are overfished, since fish are eating the algae that are so common here. And the fishing nets do also destroy a lot of gorgonians. Some really unexpected sightings. A pod of dolphins is visiting the protected area of La Scandola, where we had some of the best dives during our tour. The drop-off of Punto Scoppa, starting at 7 meters and going down to 50. Nowhere else we found so many gorgonian corals, a species only living in the Mediterranean Sea, filtering the currents for swimming plankton. They are also able to change their color between red and yellow. Punto Scoppa looked like the prototype of a perfectly shaped and healthy Mediterranean reef. finishing with a very nice surprise. A dusky grouper, and he is not alone. One of his colleagues lives in this crevice, showing his big mouth. Sailing north again to Saint-Florent for our last overnight stay at Corsica. Diving has not been finished yet. Before re-entering Rossignano, we're gonna stay at another fantastic location. Between Corsica and Italy, you find a remote island named Capraia. The island belongs to Italy and was used as a prison until 1986. Close to its southernmost point, a reef rises up to 25 meters. The Punto di Tocco. So have a close look around, because here you can find barracudas, and not just a single one. Approximately up to 50 specimens cruise around this reef that provides enough food for this predator. Not so easy to find in the Mediterranean Sea.